I think too often people have judged U.S. policy in the region by using the wrong preposition. What have you done for Latin America and the Caribbean? And we want to answer that question, explaining what we're doing with Latin America and the Caribbean, because these are countries which have made enormous strides in the last 30 years. If you just look at the way, for instance, that the region reacted to the financial crisis, with many countries financing their own stimulus packages out of their own resources, coming through this crisis much more strongly than people might have predicted, with democratic systems that are stronger than ever before.
If you want a partnership, any kind of partnership, you have to want it and you have to devise a strategy to make it happen. Yet, when one looks back at the past 17 months of relations between the U.S. and Latin America, you get the nagging feeling that the U.S. is sort of playing catch-up.
All of those goals, whether it's the drug issue, immigration, Haiti, trade, all of those have been addressed, have been outlined by President Obama in the Summer of the Americas in Trinidad and Tobago. And that, of course, makes us happy, because it shows that the administration identifies the issues that we thought were important as well, and there's a certain alignment or agreement. On Mexico, I want to stress one area where I think there has been progress, which I think has been very important. And if one asks themselves, what's different between the Obama administration versus the Bush administration, which is a logical question to ask, what's new, what's different? I think one area that's different is there has been a more serious attempt to control the flow of arms that come from the United States to Mexico, that's used in the vast majority of the murders and killings that we're seeing in Mexico today.
And I think we learned through hard experience that when the United States said counter narcotics, the rest of the region, the rest of the world thought we were talking about keeping bad things out of our country. Drugs, drug traffickers, perhaps those with terrorist intentions and so forth. Well, there's an element of truth in that. Of course, we're trying to keep drugs out of our country, but what we're really trying to do is engage in programs that make streets and neighborhoods safer for everybody in the hemisphere. In other words, this is not a selfish policy. It's a policy of engagement with partners to try to make sure that everybody's security improves.
Abundance and heterogeneity of our energy resources should allow for greater energy integration and cooperation both within Latin America and between Latin America and North America, and particularly the U.S., which is a net importer of energy. Unfortunately, this is generally not the case.
And my impression is that it is going to become an even more urgent priority for the U.S. government, especially if the ban on deep-sea drilling in the Gulf of Mexico is prolonged. Because it is well known that Latin America is the #1 supplier of energy to the United States.
On the people-to-people side, we have found over the years that some of the most useful activity we do is in promoting the educational exchanges, science and technology, youth programs, foreign language training, not only English in Latin America, but also Spanish instruction and Portuguese in the United States. The notion that the young people of this hemisphere share an opportunity to address an increasingly globalized world by mastering some of the most important global languages.
To recognize that the most important asset to build a partnership is the 40 million plus Latinos and descendants of Latinos that live in the U.S.
The two big issues that are still certainly not resolved and not even managed as effectively as they might: immigration and the drug-fueled violence, the security issue, which it's hard to see really any improvement on those issues, and those are creating serious problems in the relationship, despite all of the cooperation that's going on at within many agencies and many bureaucracies in the U.S. government and the Mexican government, which I think is more advanced than it's ever been. The United States image has improved under this administration. President Obama himself is personally very popular, according to all the data polls that we have.
I think we have to recognize that at this point, Latin America is not desperate for a partnership with the U.S.